Sorry, I'm not laughing at your story. Andy's just having a big
She
reaction.
just sounds so terrible. It's kind of delicious. I'm sorry you have to deal with it firsthand.
Yeah.
Secondhand, it's pretty entertaining. Go ahead.
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to Dear Shandy, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Are you excited?
I'm always excited for callers. My
Yes.
favorite one.
It's same. I'm a big caller fan myself. And it's been a minute since we've done one of these.
It has.
So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
Our caller today is Dayna. Dayna, thank you so much for joining us.
Nice to meet you, Dayna.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me.
Would you mind giving us your age and your general region or city, whatever you're comfortable sharing, and your story, please?
So I am 28. I am calling in from Canada.
Yay.
And yeah.
I just sat a little taller.
And my story involves my boyfriend's best friend. And my predicament is that I don't feel like she wants to get to know me. I'll start with how I met my boyfriend and leading up to it, because I think that plays an important part in the story. I'm 28. My boyfriend is 34. He's originally from New Zealand, but he moved here a couple years ago.
That's a good accent.
It is.
Oh, the
Not that
best.
that's relevant to the story.
It's relevant.
It's actually relevant to my story. So I met him off an app, and before I went on the app, I'd been single for a couple of years. And with my previous history of relationships where it ended in infidelity, I spent a lot of time in therapy trying to unlearn that narrative and get to a place where I could feel healthy to accept that kind of love that I wanted. And so when I got to a place where I felt I was a bit ready, it was also the thick of the pandemic. And I thought, okay, great, there's another year of being single. So I went on the app to just, pass some time. And I matched with him. I got on the phone with him first to talk out some COVID rules. And I know this is so cheesy, but I knew the second he said hello, it's almost like my soul just knew everything I needed to know in that moment. And I remember watching your first episode where you talked about how you guys met, and it was very just easy. It was so effortless, and I didn't realize that love could be effortless. And so I knew right away from the beginning that this was special.
That's lovely.
So, yeah. And I think maybe because he is a little bit older, or he's gone through therapy as well, that we just have great conversations. He knows what he wants. I know what I want. And I just feel like we're very compatible. So with that said.
So that's not the problem.
Not the problem.
The relationship is great.
Yeah.
The first couple weeks of us dating, he mentioned that because he doesn't have family here, his friends group here is like his family. And he had so many great things to say about all his best friends. And I was just so excited to meet them one day. There was one friend in particular. It's his female friend. She's single. And when I first met her, it was weird. But I thought it was weird because it was in the pandemic and we only spoke outside with masks on for about 10 minutes. Other than saying hi to me, though, she didn't really say anything else. She was only talking to my boyfriend. But like I said, I thought it was weird because it was just a pandemic. A couple weeks later, we met up again. We met up in a group setting, and I'm not kidding when I say that there was just no eye contact. I realized very early on that she didn't say hi, couldn't even look at me, that I actually tried walking in her direction to see like, oh, hey, maybe this is where you say hi. And at one point it was just her and I together. So I thought, okay, this is where I say hi. This is where I talk to her, and we move past this awkwardness. I asked her how her work is going, and she replied saying it's fine. And I thought, okay, next question, something else. And she replied with a one-word answer. And the silence was just so awkward that I took that as a hint that I wouldn't keep talking. I saw her on Instagram a couple days later, so I added her, or requested to add her. And it's been 6 months now, and there's been no reply.
Oh, God.
So at that time, after the Instagram incident, I told my boyfriend what I was feeling.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at your story. Andy's just having a big
She
reaction.
just sounds so terrible. It's kind of delicious. I'm sorry you have to deal with it firsthand.
Yeah.
Secondhand, it's pretty entertaining. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, when I brought it up with my boyfriend, his initial reaction was that, oh, maybe she's just not on her phone that much, or she was just having a bad day. And like I mentioned earlier about my relationship history, I did check in with myself a lot. And I spoke to my therapist about this, asking, is this me? Am I creating a story in my head based on my past? And am I just jealous of this girl? Am I threatened? So I feel like I did my part in checking in to see if this was just in my head. But my boyfriend and I realized that this was the only thing we were fighting about. And so it just got to a point where we agreed that he would speak to her about it. When he reached out.
Sorry to interrupt, just a TO in that. How many times did you bring it up with your boyfriend? Like, was it just sort of an ongoing thing? Like, at what point were you like, hey, things are a little weird with this friend of yours? Like, how long? I just sort of want numbers.
How long into it?
Yeah, how long into your relationship? How many exchanges with the friend? Like, these little things.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably a month in.
Okay.
I mentioned that, just so you know, I added her on Instagram. I thought she just wasn't on Instagram, but I know that you guys talk on there, and it's kind of weird that she hasn't accepted my request. And then I also let him know that the couple times I've met her, there's just been no interaction. And maybe it's because I set the tone that it wasn't that big of a deal. My boyfriend is very non-confrontational, and he likes to see the best in people, which is why I fell in love with him. And so when I brought this up, it wasn't a very serious tone that I set, and therefore he responded the same, like, oh, that's weird, but let's see what she's like next time we see her.
Mm-hmm. Was it a month in from dating him, or was it a month in from your first encounter with his friend?
No, a month in from dating him.
Okay. And how long in from meeting his friend did you bring it up?
Probably 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
And just so that we're up to date, how long have you been with him now?
Oh, I've been with him we're coming on to 9 months now.
Oh my God. 9 months, and this is still going on.
It's still going on.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh, this just got very juicy.
Mm-hmm.
So
you began fighting with your boyfriend about it, you said.
Yeah. And so eventually he did reach out to her. That was the conclusion that we came up with. And when he reached out, it was over a message. And he just asked, do you have a problem with our relationship? I just noticed that you're not talking to her when we're together. And her initial response was, I feel like that's in your head. But immediately she said, okay, that sounded a bit gaslighty. I take that back. But even as she took it back, every other response was just telling him that she was just so shocked. She was very defensive, saying, well, when I message her, if I don't include a question mark, why would she need to reply? It was, to me, it was quite shocking when I read it. But I could tell it was really difficult for my boyfriend to have that conversation with her because, like I said, he's never been in that situation before, and he didn't really know how to handle it in that moment. And then she also said that she feels like it's really weird to get to know someone over message and that she would prefer it in person. So I accepted that answer. I said, that's fine. It's weird. It's a pandemic. We'll see each other in person. A couple weeks later, we met up again, and I was hopeful, but just no eye contact, no acknowledgement that I'm there. And there was one point where she was near me, and as she was leaving, she said bye to everyone but me. And
my God, she's cartoonish.
She's so petty. I have a million questions.
Do you want to wait till she gets to the end?
Oh, is it at the end still coming? Okay.
Yeah, it actually kind of gets worse from here.
Oh.
So,
just before you continue, how old is she?
I don't actually know how old she is, but I know I'm going to say 30.
Okay.
Okay.
Around there.
Okay.
After that incident, I just couldn't handle it anymore, which is when I wrote in because I didn't know what to do. It felt like I was going in circles with my boyfriend. I felt like this wasn't getting any better. And it did reach a very heated moment between my boyfriend and I told him, this is my need. I need you to do something about it because I can't, this is not sustainable.
Mm. Good call. Good job doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy. So he reached out to her again, but this time a little bit more assertive and saying, you know, I thought we set out expectations and boundaries, but I feel like you're still not getting to know her. I'm just wondering like what's going on. She took it horribly. She told him that she needs space from him and that she's very hurt. And he respected it. We didn't talk for about 2 weeks. And then when he followed up saying, I'm going to see you at like a group event tonight, just wondering where your head's at, she responded saying, I hope you don't cause a scene at the event. And I would like to talk about this later. When we showed up at the event, she walked away. Like she couldn't handle being near my boyfriend and I. And as she was away, she messaged my boyfriend saying, I just can't be around you.
Around either of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either of us. And that was the first time I saw my boyfriend have like a mini panic attack. He didn't know why his friend was being like this. It was so awkward for everyone that we ended up leaving. Since then, they met up because he just couldn't handle it anymore. And in that conversation, before they went to go meet up, I told him that unless she owns up and apologizes, I don't think I can have her in my life. It was very stressful for me. It was the only thing that we fought about. And so he knew going in what he needed out of that conversation. She didn't own up to anything. She said that he set unrealistic expectations of her and that she needs more space. So currently, they're not talking.
Oh, how long ago was this?
Probably 3 weeks now.
Oh, wow. A lot has... Okay. Ooh.
Good timing.
Yeah. So good timing for us indeed. Okay. So 3 weeks ago was I need more space. We're not talking. And pretty much it's just been really tense. 8 months now? Correct?
Yeah. It's just gradually have gotten worse. And I do feel really sad about it because my goal wasn't to break them up. It really wasn't. It was me trying to figure out how do I exist in a space with someone that doesn't want me around. Okay,
I just wanted though to break them up. I mean, they weren't together.
Yeah, that's a Freudian slip there.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to get to that later.
Yeah.
But can I just ask like 150 questions?
Ask 150 questions.
Okay, I'm going to start. We're sitting at the detective table. I got a notepad. My tie is slightly
loosened.
I'm loosening my tie. I've got a pack of cigarettes. I've got a brown suit. Anyway, have you ever done anything, or is there anything you could possibly imagine that you have done or that defines you that would make this person dislike you regardless of your boyfriend?
The only thing that I can think of is when we first started dating, the pandemic was really bad, especially in Canada, and the restrictions got tighter. And so we had to have a conversation of, are you joining my bubble or are you going to stay with your friends? And he chose to join my bubble. So the only thing I can think of is that I took him away from time that.
Okay, but again, that's not something you did wrong.
Well,
that's a choice he made.
Yeah, and they're boyfriend, girlfriend.
And you're his girlfriend. I mean, it's absurd. Okay, so nice try. Because that's the best you can come up with. I think you're clean. So have you ever, I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I'm
You've got some of these if you want, but I'm going to get through all of them. Have you ever had this experience with anybody else in your life? Let's start from the top down. Have you ever had a boyfriend who has had a girlfriend who you've had this issue with in the past?
No, the only time that I had an issue with was because I found out that he was cheating on me with her. but
Okay.
no,
Oh, okay.
other than that, no.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, that's different.
okay. So if anything, you're the one that should have a hang up about her.
Yeah. That's not even close to what I was getting at. So you're fine there. Have you had any? Have you had recurring incidences with girlfriends who are unrelated to a boyfriend? Are you someone who gets into a lot of squabbles with women? Okay.
No.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
didn't think so.
getting
I'm
that.
just going through again.
No,
It's
no.
detective work
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I don't believe I'm going to get a yes on any of these, but I need to know. How long has he known this woman?
3 years. He had so many good things to say about her that I was actually really excited to meet her. Okay. And so it's so surprising that someone who was very inviting towards my boyfriend is not inviting towards me.
I have to ask the question. Was he single when she was that way with him?
No. He was in a relationship at the time.
And how was she getting along with that girlfriend?
Yeah.
Well, that one's a little bit tricky because that girlfriend didn't want to get to know his friends, so it was very separate. There was a period where he was single for about a year, and they were still friends. Like, from his end, there's been no previous romantic history.
What? Okay, when you say no previous, so you're sure that he's had no previous romantic history with this girl? What level of confidence do you have?
100%.
It's pretty
Yeah,
high.
but I mean, it's on his side. Doesn't mean that she didn't have this long-standing crush on him.
Wait, she has a long-standing crush on him.
Yeah, there's
no question about that.
Yeah.
My question is, you're 100% sure that they never so much as ever hooked up at all, even just one drunken makeout? 0% chance.
I've asked him, and he said no.
Okay, but you trust him implicitly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we definitely both strongly feel that she has feelings. What are you shaking your head?
It's just so obvious. I don't even know what to.
I know it's so transparent.
It's not a question of whether she has feelings, and I'm sure this is not a revelation. Like,
yes.
You know this.
Yeah.
The question is, what do you do about it?
I have my
Please.
ways. Well, what's interesting is that, I looked over your email again before we did this call, and what I find interesting is how things have escalated since that email. I was not expecting her to lose his friendship so willingly out of, I don't know, pride, rejection, feeling smited.
Smoten.
Smotedness. Just generally her dismissiveness. And in some ways, I kind of, as horrible as this sounds, wonder if that has sort of solved itself, because some friendships just really, not every friendship is going to stand the test of time. That's just the honest to God truth. Especially when one of those friendships involves unrequited feelings, which this one definitely does.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like this comes down to more about your boyfriend, because it's clear this girl has feelings for your boyfriend. And it's clear your boyfriend is not going to reciprocate those feelings, nor has there been a sexual or romantic history with the two of them. So the issue is your boyfriend on your team, or is your boyfriend on her team? And I think it's important that your boyfriend is solidly with you against this friend.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's almost kind of solved itself, because he did take a stand, which I was, by the way, going into this call, I thought we were going to have to encourage you to make sure that he's on your team. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like he has solidly done that.
Yeah.
If to the point where he has lost the friendship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's say they mend things in some way. Obviously, there's bad blood to begin with. You guys are starting at some sort of a sub, whatever's below par.
Yeah.
Like it's not
par.
Yeah. And I just say this, given this girl is, it's painfully transparent. I find her behavior painful.
She's an amateur.
It makes me cringe.
Yeah.
Like you can't hide it to that extent. She's just flailing, like anything to avoid admitting.
She's using it. She's almost overacting. Or acting out to show your boyfriend how much she romantically cares about him.
Yeah, but I think it's all under the guise of not romantically caring.
She's sloppy.
She's
she doesn't know
sloppy.
how to behave.
And it's, I gotta say, for 30-ish, it's...
This is my question. I think your boyfriend's doing the right thing. And I think this is going in the right direction.
I would have preferred if he hadn't made you work so hard.
I agree.
To make him do the right thing. But it's,
I agree. All's well that ends well. He seems to be on the right path now. So my question is, why is he friends with this girl?
Yes. Thank you. Okay. That's the big question.
Yeah.
I want to know too. What is redeeming about this girl?
Yeah. What's going on with this?
So I can share what he's told me before this blew up. And he said that they have a lot of things in common. So they do share a lot of hobbies. Yeah, she was very friendly when he first moved to Canada, and he didn't have like a community, and she really provided that for him. Everyone in the friend group likes her. But here's the thing, because maybe I'm on the outside, when I've observed her interactions with people, it's a very attention-seeking behavior. I can tell that she doesn't really ask other people about them. It's very much, I need the spotlight back on me. And so
we all know those people.
Yeah. And it's hard for me to accept that she has feelings, because I think that opens up a lot of just healing that I've done around that. And I just get really anxious, like thinking that she could have feelings. I almost want to believe that she's just upset that I took him away from her friend group.
Oh.
But also that the light shines brighter on you you're
you're the chosen one. You are. And let's be honest, in terms of like friend group hierarchy, the mate takes precedence. Mm-hmm. You're going to get the front seat in the car.
Yeah.
This has caused a drift in the friend group, because a lot of their mutual friends just don't understand why this happened. And even though they're not taking one side over the other, some of their comments have been, well, that she's a sensitive person. Like, that's just who she is. So they were shocked that my boyfriend brought this to light. And so my question is, I do feel very sad that my boyfriend goes through this, and he feels really awkward when it's a group setting, and he knows that sometimes he probably won't get invited because she's there. How do we move forward? Do I just have to just trust that he's on my side and be okay with them interacting?
Yes, but I just want to take one step back from that. When you say she's a sensitive person, or the friends say that, being sensitive is not an excuse to be a dick. It's not. I'm a sensitive person. If anything, it means I'm ultra sensitive to other people's feelings. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sensitive, I'm too nice sometimes to people who don't deserve it. So she's not that sensitive. She might be about her own feelings, but she's not sensitive in a way that makes her empathetic to other people's experiences. The fact that she couldn't reflect for one fucking second when your boyfriend was like, actually, this has been a problem in our relationship. We're fighting over this. My girlfriend's really upset. The fact that for 1 second she wasn't like, oh, like honestly, if that happened to me, if I made someone else feel that way, I would cry about it for an entire day. No.
She's so threatened by her that she's allowing it to destroy a big chunk of her life. She's blinded by the feeling of threat.
I hesitate to call anyone a narcissist without, knowing anything about them, but she shows some narcissistic behavior in her inability to take responsibility. Mm-hmm. Just her inability to recognize your experience. Like, 1 month in, that first time you met, 10 minutes with masks on, you'd been dating for 1 month, whatever. That's no big deal. It would be easy to be like, it's the flavor of the week or whatever. Like, she won't last long, whatever. It's now been 9 months. You are boyfriend and girlfriend. You're not going anywhere. So she needs to suck it up. And apparently that's something she's not capable of doing. And so she would rather lose her friendship with him. I say good riddance. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for this girl. I don't care how sensitive she is.
I would honestly say that if your boyfriend doesn't feel the same, that there's an issue.
Yes. If he's losing a ton of sleep over this 3-year friendship, the biggest thing going for her is that she helped him form a friend group in a new country. That's notable. I understand the attachment
He
there.
feels he owes her.
Do you think that he feels he owes her at all socially?
I don't know about owes her. I just know that he has like so many memories with her. In the 3 years that they've been friends, he used to talk to her every day. And
well, that's sweet that he remembers them so fondly, but she was not hesitant to let that go.
And she also doesn't care about his happiness, which is really important.
You're right.
If they're such good friends, why does he not care? He's obviously showing that he's happy with you, right?
That's the heart of the issue.
He's in a happy relationship, and she hates that. So what kind of friend is that who hates your happiness?
so she said to him in that meetup that she has no problem with me and that she's actually very happy for us.
Show, don't tell is what I would say to that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Okay, if we're going to look forward, I think there's two paths here. Obviously, one is one where he rekindles the friendship there, and the other one is where you just don't. And column B solves itself. Mm-hmm. And I think Shandy agrees that it's good riddance. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds harsh, but a 3-year friendship, it's not
that big a deal. If you told me they were childhood friends, I would say, wow, there may have to be a plan B for this.
Yeah.
But 3 years, as you said, I mean, yeah, maybe she got him, she got his legs under him in a new spot, but that's not a huge deal. She got a lot out of it too. He was a good friend to her.
Yeah, clearly better than she is to him.
Yeah.
At least now.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't owe her anything, is what I'm saying. You can make a case maybe that, he owes her, so he feels bad, but he doesn't owe her anything.
And to get back to the happiness thing, why should anyone have to apologize for that happiness?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I know we're basing this all on the assumption that she has feelings for him, but I honestly just have a hard time believing any scenario where that's not the case. Unless you did something to really offend her, and based on how I think she is, based on the story, I don't think she would hesitate to verbalize what you had done to offend her.
Yeah, why? She would be so exhilarated to have evidence.
Yeah. So we're going to focus on column A, and that's where your boyfriend and this girl rekindle their friendship. This was my gut reaction when I read your email, and I still feel this way, even though it's one that requires a lot of, I think, painful pride sucking up. That was not well worded, but you knew what I meant. I think that if you do get to the point where they are trying to mend this friendship and salvage what's there, put the pieces back together, you will need to take the route of killing with kindness. And that means inviting her out, just the two of you, making an extreme effort to get to know her on a level that's not just, oh, we're in the same place at the same time and we know the same people. And I say that because of who she sounds like she is. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying she deserves it, but sometimes you have to do things for people that they don't deserve in order to make things more harmonious for everyone, notably for the person that you love. Do you disagree with me?
I don't disagree at all.
It pains me to give this advice because I would be just as happy with column B, where they're just not friends anymore. But your boyfriend sounds sensitive, which is a wonderful trait. I don't buy for a second that she's sensitive, but mm-hmm. As a sensitive person, I don't like that word being thrown around willy-nilly. Again, it hurts me to say this, but I think killing with kindness in the long run, if it comes to that, is going to be your best bet. And also it will be a gift to your boyfriend.
And this is, if there's zero reciprocation from this girl with that kindness, then I would say abandon all hope.
Oh, yes. Abandon the kindness ship immediately.
Yeah, you should not continue with that route if she's not giving anything back.
Yeah. I just think that I'd be interested to see if she really made that concerted effort to zero in on her, really focus on her. Let's get coffee. Let's go shopping. Let's do something. Let's spend time together and just see what happens. And that's going to provide a lot of information, honestly.
Yeah. So with that, she told my boyfriend in that meetup, after that hour-long conversation, she said, okay, what about maybe in a couple months, I just hang out with you two? and then immediately took that back and said, never mind, I can't do it.
Oh my God.
And so
I'm trying so hard to give this girl
I hate her. I like your boyfriend, but I question why. Why does he like this girl?
Yeah, I question his judgment that he was friends with her, but I have to take your word for it that she's just different
I'm going
now.
to take your word as well. I don't know.
I mean, does he really miss her companionship? Or he just doesn't like bad blood?
He doesn't like bad blood.
Yeah. He's a peacemaker. He's a sensitive. He's a lover.
Yeah.
I want to know how your relationship with your boyfriend is. Forget about this girl. Let's make believe that she doesn't exist.
It's the best I've ever had. It is.
Fantastic. And you think he feels the same way?
Yes.
Like you guys are in bliss.
So on that note.
Great.
Because you said you felt some anxiety around like you would prefer to imagine that she doesn't have feelings for him because it's kind of triggering for you.
Mm-hmm.
I would just implore you to lean into the confidence of the answer you just gave, which is such that with confidence in someone comes a lot of trust in them. And you cannot be in a healthy partnership without giving that trust to someone else. Mm-hmm. So I know that's not really relevant to the story or what you should do from here on out. We definitely think she has feelings for the guy, and it's almost a good test for you emotionally to be faced with that and to see how a healthy relationship responds to that. One that has warranted trust. And in terms of the girl, I gotta say, you reach a point in life where, and I think your boyfriend might be reaching that point soon. He's 34.
You don't have time to suffer fools.
Yeah. The life is too short to put up with childish behavior in people who are who are peers and fully grown adults.
Yeah, this is like not even senior year of high school. This is like sophomore year of high school behavior.
Yes.
It's embarrassing.
I'm embarrassed for this girl.
I'm embarrassed for your boyfriend having to be associated with her.
You're embarrassed that they were ever friends?
Yeah. I'm almost embarrassed just doing a podcast about it.
Oh, Dayna, I don't know if that was particularly helpful, but there's many layers to this. I think, and it is dependent on what happens. It's not like, go forth and do this, because it's possible that really nothing needs to be done.
Yeah. I think let this dog lie. Just, you've actually done everything right. I can't criticize anything she's done.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to take your word for it that you made an effort with her.
It sounds like she did.
It sounds like you did. It sounds like you made a normal effort with someone who might need an above average effort.
Oh, and by the way, it's not your job as a new girlfriend or boyfriend to make a Herculean effort with his friends or her friends. It's not your job. You make a reasonable effort. And if it's not reciprocated in any way, you back off. It's not your job.
It's true.
It's your boyfriend or girlfriend's job to protect you from some inane conflict with a 2-year-old that you're friends with. Right?
I agree.
So you did everything right. You're one of the rare Shandy callers that has done everything right.
And who's in a happy relationship.
I don't even know why you're calling.
Which is really what matters here. The happy relationship is, this girl.
This is great.
Doesn't matter.
Don't let this rock the boat.
In a couple of years, I'm just going to make a prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see this. This girl doesn't sound, she has a lot of therapy to do, yeah. I feel like. And in the long run, this will be a blip and just something you laugh about.
There are always casualties.
There's casualties in every chapter of life, whether or not it involves meeting your forever partner.
Yeah.
This girl sounds like a casualty to me. And good riddance.
A pill. What a pill. Oof.
I just have a quick question about the whole confidence thing.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm struggling with is the type of person I am. I feel like if someone is a toxic energy for me, I like to just cut it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And with my boyfriend, I've learned that he's not like that. He's more compassionate and he will allow things to just have like a softer fade out. Whereas I'm the opposite. Mm-hmm. And so because this is his friendship, should I be having more of an understanding that the way they reconnect would be on his term. Because to me, if this was just me and her, or this was my friend that was doing this to my boyfriend, I need an apology. I need some sort of acknowledgement that you understand what you did was wrong, and then we can move forward. But I'm not sure that's where my boyfriend's at.
Okay, that's such a good question.
Behavior, more importantly.
What'd you say?
And a change in behavior, more importantly.
Yeah.
An apology is
I
only
think an
worth...
apology is... I understand why you would want it. I think it's a noble thing to expect, but I don't... Sometimes expecting an apology from someone is like trying to get blood from a stone. Like you could be barking up the wrong tree. And it's possible that this friendship could come together again and you could get along with this girl one day and never get your apology. Is that apology going to be the reason why you don't let that happen? You know, so I wouldn't hold out hope too much for an apology from a person who would behave this way in the first place. But I love her question about confidence. And well, it was kind of about confidence, but it was really more about, you know, the toxic energy. And I actually think that it's a great question because I think I'm a little more like the boyfriend. I don't know. I have cut a person or two out of my life here and there.
Yeah.
But there have been times where I've continued to hang out with someone who was toxic energy and was really just not good for me. And you have just sort of, like, how would you say you've dealt with it? Even though you would want to step in and be like, don't hang out with this person anymore.
I've just told you that every time you see this person, you're upset and nothing positive comes out of it. So why are you hanging out with this person?
It's true. This is exactly what he's done. This has happened, I think, with 2 friendships where I would come home and just not be happy. I would be down and just depressed. It was exactly what you're describing. It's toxic, but out of feeling obligation, loyalty, just holding out hope. You know, there's good enough times that you're like, is it worth losing a friendship over? And him saying that to me was really eye-opening because it's not something I had really thought about. I don't know if I feel that as his girlfriend, you should necessarily put down your foot and be like, you can't hang out with this girl. But I would observe how the friendship does affect him, and you could be the mirror
but
that shines that back.
That's where I struggle, because when he used to just hang out with her, he would come back so happy because she doesn't show this side to him. And she would ask questions about our relationship. So there was nothing for him to ever question that she didn't like me. And so I think that's what I had to fight against at the beginning, letting him know that it might not affect you, but this is really affecting me.
You don't ever want to forbid your partner from spending time with a friend. You ideally want your partner to organically realize that he has to prioritize you in this case. And
if you saying that, vocalizing that, okay, you're having a great time, but I leave feeling horrible because she treats me terribly. If that doesn't change the way he sees her or how he wants to hang out with her, that's an issue.
Mm-hmm. You have to remember she's committed a crime against both of you, because as a friend, she should at the very least, as a friend to your boyfriend, she should at the very least tell him why. Mm-hmm. The very least. That's the absolute bare minimum. If there's no why, there's no reason, it's just this hostility and unbelievable awkwardness, then she's committing a crime against her friend. And he should have zero tolerance for that. That's in the realm of insanity.
And as much as he might have a good time with her, that is not treating him like a friend.
Right. It's not about how she's treating you, which it is, but that's separate. It's about how she's treating him. The disrespect, the lack of appreciation for his happiness, the lack of just telling him anything about why.
Instead of gaslighting.
Yeah.
What your question gets into is an interesting nuance of, it goes far beyond this girl. It's really about what kind of control do you have over what your partner does, who they hang out with, and how much should they care about your experience with someone that they get along with fine. In my opinion, they should care a great deal.
I agree.
If I had a friend who just ignored you or treated you like shit, or who you didn't want to be around, like, at the very least, I would, without needing to be told, mention it to the person. Be like, hey, I've noticed you, blah, 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 blah. And I realize it's a personality thing and that's tricky. But that's also part of being in a partnership, is being sensitive to your partner's needs and feelings. Mm-hmm. And if he has a hard time with that, I don't want to cast a cloud over your relationship, but that is a cloud over your relationship. I don't need to cast it. It's already there. If he doesn't pick up on this stuff and doesn't value your feelings. This girl, like, friends come and go. If you do plan on like embarking on a life together, he has to choose you.
Yeah.
Am I being too harsh?
No, I agree.
Okay.
Just as a caveat, the only other explanation, which is very possible, is that you were the first real threat to their friendship. She saw the connection there that was so strong. No, I'm not saying this is right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you were the first time that she was like, oh, she's going to take him away from me as a friend. So maybe the feelings weren't romantic, but they were extremely possessive on a friend level.
Well, and actually that gets into sort of an adjacent topic about how when you do meet someone you're really excited about and it's a happy relationship, it sometimes can be jarring and disappointing how many people are not genuinely happy for you. It's all fun and games while you're dating and telling each other dating anecdotes. But then suddenly when someone's shacked up with someone and living with them and doing more and more with them, other people can start to feel like they're being left in the dust or behind.
And to be fair, this same exact situation could happen if with a guy friend of your boyfriend. I know
Yes.
I've gotten into relationships before where a couple of my guy friends have acted out big time, have been upset.
Yeah, when you met me.
Yeah, when I met Sharleen.
At first they were like, oh, cool, whatever. And then I would say, would you say the 6-month mark? Where would you say it happened?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
When it got serious.
Yeah, a couple of my friends
They've come around.
got really, no, but they got upset. One very upset, like really acted out in ways that I had never seen before.
But a crucial difference is none of them took it out on me.
Yes.
None of them treated me like shit when I met up with them.
This is true. And if that had happened, that would have been it.
Yeah. Dayna, I don't know if that was helpful.
No, it was really helpful. Thank you for giving all that insight and advice moving forward.
Good luck. Good luck with this.
Yeah, good luck. And most importantly, you should be very happy. You're one of the few people who's in a like ostensibly perfect relationship.
Yeah. And try, but don't try too hard.
Okay. Sure. I'll agree to that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for calling and good luck.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Bye,
Thank you.
Dayna. You know, some calls are just less satisfying than others.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel like I have blue balls after that. Like Shandy balls.
Yeah, I feel that way too because I like to give an answer that I feel complete confidence in. I know it's going to make a difference and it's going to change. But the main advice that I would have felt that confidence in would have been more about her relationship with the guy and how he's reacting to the friend. Mm-hmm. And she has full confidence in him. And it sounds like he's done what he can within his comfort zone. I still think he should have preempted a bit better.
I
also would be curious how he did it. We didn't really touch on that, but I'm curious, like he did it via message, which is never a good idea. Never a good idea. You do that in person.
I think this guy's got a really, like, he's a very sensitive guy. He doesn't like conflict. I think he kid gloved this a little bit, which I get it. You know, I've been in these situations before sometimes, kind of, not exactly like this. This is pretty crazy, but similar-ish. And sometimes it's just very uncomfortable, you know? You don't want to just smash a friendship to pieces, even if the person's totally acting inappropriately. And it's uncomfortable to bring it to a head. It's an uncomfortable subject. So I can't vilify this guy. I think he could have done better.
I'm not saying they'll smash a friendship to pieces. This could have been, I think, handled in a way where it could have avoided the smashing into pieces. Mm-hmm. Although that said, based on how she reacted to this, either he went about it wrong or she's completely off her rocker. In which case, no loss.
Yeah.
I maintain that.
I think she's a little off her rocker, but I do also, just to give him more the benefit of the doubt again, I want to stress that you're not always, as a third party, you're not always totally privy to exactly the dynamic that's happening around you. Like it's very possible that he wasn't fully seeing what was happening. It might have been happening to his periphery. You know, maybe when he was standing right next to her, she was a little bit more in her good behavior. You don't know.
No,
Like, I want to
true.
give this guy the benefit of the doubt. I think he was in a bad situation.
Okay, but that doesn't address the fact that he tried to do this over message.
Yeah, he could have done it better. There's no question he could have done it better.
I mean, I feel like that's interpersonal behavior 101. And not a satisfying call.
No, it wasn't.
I'm
was-
dissatisfied.
There was there's an elephant in the room, and maybe I get in trouble for saying this.
Oh, you want to say it?
I mean, I have to say it.
Okay, say it.
I know everyone's thinking it.
Okay.
The caller was very attractive. Would you not agree?
Yes.
And
Beautiful.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're saying.
Yeah, no,
that.
I mean, literally when we hopped on, I was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. That's what I
Yes.
said.
And we're not being, we're not trying to be nice here. This is a
No.
fact.
Yes.
And I am guessing.
I see where you're going with this, and we might get flack for going there, but it matters. It matters. Do you want me to bear the brunt?
I feel like I'm literally 1 inch from a quicksand pit.
Yeah.
So you can take the ball here.
Yeah, no, I think that it crossed my mind too, and I wasn't super comfortable going there. And it every time I feel this sort of discomfort, it reinforces this thought I've been having lately, which is that dating is not PC.
No, it's like war.
Dating, there's nothing PC about dating.
No.
There's nothing PC about being like, that person is better looking than that person, and therefore will have more options when dating than that person. It's horrible.
I mean, think about what people say. What do people say when you like, oh, did you like your family? They'll be like, oh, her new boyfriend is so handsome, or oh, his new girlfriend is so beautiful.
Yeah, and if they
that's the first thing out of their mouth.
Yeah. I would be curious what the friend looks like, or it's hard to imagine that the caller's looks would be lost on her. And I'm not saying that would be the only reason. And in fact, I often think that good looks attract people to them usually, but not when it feels like that person's
competing.
taking away. Yes.
I mean, put yourself in her position, and I am not giving her. She's wrong. The friend is wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving her any benefit of the doubt. But just to create the scenario.
No, it adds a little color.
It does.
Because we don't, most people listening to this episode do not see Dayna's face. And it is almost a childish reaction that this friend seems to be having. But, again, based on her side of the story. Of course, I'm sure the friend would have a very different side to the story. But I do think it bears mentioning. And again, we're just the messengers. Don't hate the players. You hate the game.
Yeah.
And leagues exist. Looks exist.
I mean,
yeah,
most
it's
people.
tough. It's tricky to talk about this stuff. But yeah, like I said, not PC.
You put yourself in this girl's position. She's clearly desired a romantic relationship with this guy for a long time. She may have not come out and ever sort of overtly told him or made it incredibly clear with some physical interaction, but maybe she was too scared. Maybe she didn't feel like he would reciprocate. Either way, she wants it. She's wanted it. And he hasn't moved on her, right? For whatever reason it may be. If he likes her so much, and they get along so well, but he doesn't want to do anything romantic with her, I'm just saying there's a decent chance he's not physically attracted to her. And if he's not physically attracted to her, and she knows this, because it's the only explanation for what's going on, and she likes him so much, and she wants nothing more to have a romantic relationship. And then this Dayna comes along.
Yeah.
And oh man.
Yeah,
and
it
right away
hurts.
he's just swept off his feet.
Yeah, honestly, when you put it like that, it makes me feel bad for the friend.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing. There's
Yeah.
you can always see it from someone's perspective. I feel bad for her, but if she had better character, she would have taken the high road and said, I have lost the game here. This is one battle. It's not the war. I am going to take the high road, and I'm going to treat her with the
Decency.
not just decency, but I'm going to treat her like family, to just show my friend how much I care about him and his happiness.
That really comes to the core of it. When you said that earlier, I was like, you just nailed it. Nailed the issue that there's a lot of words have been spewed in this call.
More words in this call than
necessary,
than most
probably.
Calls. Yeah, a little too many words.
Yeah, but when you said at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like the friend values his happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Her behavior is not suggesting that she does.
No.
And that's always disappointing, but there's a reason why friendships end, and it's not because they just happen to end. It's usually because something happens.
There's a betrayal of trust. There's a betrayal of intention. And I honestly think that it makes the job easier for him, because if there's one thing that your friend should embrace and accept and relish is that your partner, when you're in a very happy, stable relationship, it's the baseline.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, or if in this case, if you fight against it
Yeah.
with vigor
And defensiveness.
then goodbye. You're not a friend. You're there. You may be a friend sometimes, but you're not a friend all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And who wants that? You you have a drinking buddy.
Yeah.
You go have a few beers.
Yeah.
You talk about sports. Sorry, we talk about sports, my drinking buddies. Sometimes. Actually, I don't talk about
Rarely.
sports.
You
Yeah,
know
maybe
that.
boxing.
Yeah.
But and that's it. You compartmentalize. That's your drinking buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A real friend embraces your relationship unless you're dating someone who's totally obviously toxic and terrible.
Yeah.
In which case a real friend would tell you not to date that person, but that's another story. This is not that case. I guarantee you they're in a very good relationship. It's very clear.
But you said a good friend embraces. I just want to mention that those friends you mentioned earlier, the ones that did act out and were not really gung-ho about me having come into the picture, they have since really, first of all, they never took it out on me.
No.
Ever.
Never. Even if anything, it was quite the opposite. They went above and beyond to be nice to you.
Yes. But beyond the acting out, when they got over it and sort of just came to terms with the fact that you were
This was it.
shacked up, they were fully on board and happy for you.
Yeah, it was just growing pain.
I think some of them still probably wish you were single again so
Of
they could go out
course.
with you.
Oh,
but,
come on,
you
of
know,
course.
You know what it does? What it is it represents a coming of age.
Yeah.
It represents the next chapter. When someone that you've gone out with and had all these good times with and all these memories with suddenly is less interested in doing that because they want to Netflix and chill more.
You know.
Yes.
Good.
Then
You're-
it represents the end of an era.
You're mourning the loss of your single friend.
Yes. None of this excuses her behavior, though.
No. Is there any chance that this
The friend is
friend
not
of the
the bad guy
boyfriend
here.
is not the bad guy?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Ev-
conceivable that this girl, like maybe we saw a good side of her and like in real life, she's like just horrible.
It's hard to imagine just based on how she is.
She wasn't aggressive. She seemed delightful. She seemed really easygoing. She seemed articulate. She seemed warm. Like, I don't understand how it's possible that she could be the bad guy.
Yeah, for me, I wonder how much of an effort she made. I'm not saying, and I agree with you, what you said earlier. Like, it's not the girlfriend's job necessarily to make that big effort, but I do think it's a reciprocal thing. And I think some people expect more of an effort made with them than what they need to output. I think they have a skewed perspective on
Right.
what their output versus what they're receiving.
When she asked, the thing is though, okay, that's fine. She asked, what do you do for work? What was the question she asked her that got like
She said, how is work
how
going?
is work? And it was like a one-word response. She just like walked away. That right there tells me everything I need to know. What is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
The fact that she wasn't like, and how about you?
Even small talk, even like if I hate somebody and they say, how's work? I'll be like, oh yeah. And how are things going for you?
Yeah.
Like just a basic like 101
Yeah.
decency.
Yes. Yeah, I just always try to, you want to give people, no matter how terrible they seem, the benefit of the doubt and like understand where they're coming from. But in this case, all signs point to jealous,
jilted, threatened, sad.
Oh, God. Sad. It's true.
Triste.
All right. Do you feel like that's a wrap on this caller episode?
I think it is a wrap.
Yeah. Unsatisfying.
Yeah. You know what it's like? It's like that, you know, the screensaver on the TV that keeps bouncing around the screen, but it never quite gets into the corner of the TV. Oh, I hate that.
I know exactly the one you're talking about. You're like, come on, make it right into the corner. It never does.
You're like, oh, there it is. All it had to do was bounce off that angle. Then it's coming. Oh, it's coming right back. Oh,
and then it goes boom,
right off the corner. Two bump, boom.
It's
so
true.
unsatisfying.
Yeah,
they
feel
do that on
unsatisfied.
purpose, bastards.
All right, guys. If you enjoyed what you heard today, even if you too were left unsatisfied, you can show Dear Shandy your support by liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, following us on Instagram, leaving us iTunes ratings and reviews, and telling your friends, and doing all the little things that you would do to help a podcast grow. And on that note, I think that's a wrap. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye. Dear Shandy.